DC Comics Green Lantern, their new Lantern, I guess it's not green anymore. It's so painful to try to keep up with those Lantern names and the like, is accused of swiping creator J.S. Earls' The Sorrow, and the similarities are very, very striking. This happens a lot in comics, and it is a thing in DC Comics. Doesn't have much going on for it these days, so we'll see what happens. J.S. Earls is a great creator who deserves some good credit here, and we love promoting good independent works here at the channel. Hit the like and subscribe button if you are a good fan of independent works and, of course, want to fight against the mainstream of Marvel and DC and all the ills that they're doing. We'll get into the similarities in this in just a second. My name's John Delarose, everybody. I have a great graphic novel for you on Fund My Comic, a great independent science fiction called The Emerald Array. They're a team of space marines fighting against bug monsters from outer space. This is good old classic stuff that would have been in amazing DC sci-fi comics back in the day, but they don't make those anymore. We do here. You're going to really enjoy this. It's got an art style very similar to Jack Kirby's Fourth World, stuff that is, again, the classics that is wonderful, wonderful stuff. The Emerald Array is a 66-page graphic novel. It is high tea, high action. Grab it in the description below. Support our channel. And thank you so much for everybody who's back so far and made this a success. We are crushing it while these companies fall. In the ever-evolving landscape of comic book lore, originally the remnants of the cornerstone of engaging narratives and unforgettable characters. However, since the recent events with the DC Comics universe have sparked a heated debate over the boundaries of creative inspiration and the potential for copyright infringement. At the epicenter of this controversy is an independent comic book creator, J.S. Earls, and his character, The Sorrow, whose likeness is very similar to a new character from DC Comics. And here's The Sorrow, Book 1, Following Freedom. He introduced his creation, The Sorrow, to the world in 2003, so over 20 years ago, and with the character's first printed appearance occurring in 2005. The brainchild of the collaboration between Earls and artist Darius Cole, The Sorrow is profoundly poignant spiritual being and manifesting in the aftermath of tragic events through the tears of their victims. The character's dramatic visual identity, featuring a white hood and cloak set against a stark black body with solitary tear descending from the left eye, has become emblematic of sorrow and loss. Here's one of those books and advertisements right here, The Sorrow, stories that honor the National Association to Protect Children. What a good cause that these guys have been promoting. The Sorrow's narrative trajectory began with the inclusion of anti-child abuse anthologies, initially published by Lulu.com in April 2005, later transitioning to the realm of comic book anthologies under Shooting Star Comics' banner. The character's compelling story was further developed by Starcross United 2, subsequently becoming a staple in various Starcross Comics creations. Good company right there. And fast forward to 2024. DC Comics has a new addition to their illustrious Green Lantern series, The Sorrow Lantern, literally called The Sorrow. Oh my gosh. This character, initially revealed as Nathan Broom as a 13th issue of the revamped series, has drawn immediate comparisons to Earl's original creation to an uncanny likeness in both name and concept. The month's issue of Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum #1, The Sorrow Lantern, makes a fully costumed appearance. This superhero also being that derives his power from profound well of sadness and despair, a concept resonating deeply from the essence within the sorrow. Looks like somebody read this. Writer Jeremy Adams. Wonder if Jeremy Adams is friends with J.S. Earls. Now, I like Jeremy Adams' work quite a bit, so I'd love to hear what he has to say about this situation. The parallels are difficult to overlook. Normal affinity, both characters feature sorrow prominently in their title. Power dynamics, both entities are empowered by energy and sadness and despair. Visual correlation, the Sorrow's mask bears a tear, and the Sorrow Lantern's chest emblem designs have a motif of a tear. And thematic convergence, both characters are deeply rooted in tragedy and emotional repercussions thereof. The timing of these striking similarities casts a shadow over DC Comics and their supposed originality of the Sorrow character. With the Earls, the Sorrow, having been part of the comic book lexicon for 2 decades prior, questions about the legitimacy of the new characters are unavoidable. The comic book industry is no stranger to derivative characters, but they typically derive new characters from their own previously established characters. This situation seems to cross the fine line between the inspiration and infringement. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. Even like Spider-Man came off of The Fly. Batman came off of The Shadow. I mean, this is something that you work on over the years. But when you name something The Sorrow Lantern after a character, The Sorrow, who's a shrouded, sad character like The Sorrow, that's a little rough right there. DC Comics probably should give J.S. Earls either some credit, some money. That'd be nice if you do that in order to make this right. The situation of the stark reminder of importance of intellectual property rights, an industry where creative boundaries are often fluid. All eyes on the indie comics realms will be potential legal ramifications of whether this will prompt a formal dialogue between J.S. Earls and DC Comics regarding the true genesis of the sorrowful superheroes. So this is what we got here. So Nicholas Greer, who published The Relentless Tin Soldier with Starcross Comics, spotted the striking similarities right away. And this is what he posted to X the other day. And his tweet, he tagged writer Jeremy Adams, which eventually caught the eye of DC Comics' legal team. So we're actually already on this. Your tweet to the Green Lantern writer Jeremy Adams has been forwarded to me. I can assure you neither Jeremy nor any editor or person involved in DC's Green Lantern Sorrow character or the writing, illustrating of any DC Comics books featuring the character ever saw, read, or were even aware of the Starcross Comics, the Sorrow comic book, or character. Therefore, any similarity between the DC character and Starcross Comics character is coincidental. That said, as a general rule, in the interest of industry competition, we think it's best for the comic book publishers to avoid having characters that the readers find to be confusingly similar. We've searched online for more information about the Starcross Comics character, have had little success finding information on that character beyond the character appeared in Starcross United #2, and that he or she appears to be a character of color. We found no other details about the character itself, such as background, powers, names, etc. Well, it's here now. If you send me more information on this, perhaps a PDF or link to the published comic, we'd be pleased to take a look and see if there are any non-superficial coincidental similarities between our respective characters that may be in both of our best interests going forward. Please, this email is without prejudice to any DC's rights, which we expressly reserve. Thanks for reaching out. Best regards, Jake Hogan, Senior Vice President of DC Legal Affairs. Interesting that this got that. This was close enough, guys, that it got that much of a response from DC Comics, because you know that they'd ignore it if it was not just really coincidental, really didn't matter. I've seen stuff look similar before, and just it happens. Names are similar before. It happens. DC doesn't do anything. Now, Bill Williams has a character called Punchline, incidentally, which is a great superhero, by the way. If you look up his Punchline, it came out before DC Comics Punchline, which was like a Harley Quinn knockoff on DC Comics. Obviously, those characters are very different. They just have the same name. And Bill Williams' book did not get this kind of response or treatment from DC Comics. They just ignored the fact that they had the same name as the other one. So this being so close very clearly does impact DC Comics, and they do take it very, very seriously, which is interesting. So I'd love for J.S. Earls to get a little compensation for this, because it looks like the same character. That'd be very, very cool. And we'll see what happens as this transpires and stay on top of this as we do all things in comics. What do you think about this? Did DC knock this off? Does it look like it? I like Jeremy Adams as a writer, and I like everything he's been doing over there. So I'd love to have a chat with him on other levels. We'll see. But it is very, very strikingly similar, of course. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my Emerald Array graphic novel. This is on Fund My Comic. Guys, we're crushing it through here. We got 9 days left to go. Back this book. Support independent comics. You're going to love it. We'll be back soon.